Once you go through that door, there's no turning back. Ichi, are you sure you're ready for that? 18 years. That's long enough!
I'm KG Tang, and I voice Ichiban Kasuga. Ichi is this bright-eyed, happy, whimsical character that you would think wouldn't fit in very well with a gritty crime drama, but the way the story is written, it's perfect. It seamlessly sort of incorporates his man-child-like essence into this hard-nosed underworld of the Yakuza. When things are down, he's always the guy to cheer up his party members. If anyone's ever having a bad day, he's always there at the bar, ready to share a drink with you. Usually there's another character who's like the heart of the group, but in this case, the protagonist fills that role very well. If we dubbed Yakuza Like a Dragon traditionally, some of it might sound a little anime as we try to draw out the lines or to contract the lines that fit the flat. For Yakuza Like a Dragon, I could just act through the flappage because there's a new sort of technology to fit the flaps with my dialogue.
I'm sorry I failed you. I held you up for so long, but I'm out now. I'm finally back!
Ichi sees Arakawa as a father figure. He's everything Ichi strives to be. There's a heavy emphasis on friendship, loyalty, and redemption. He wants to be this hero who helps and protects people, and he ends up doing it through the lens of the Yakuza because that's what opportunity was handed to him.
A new century is about to start, and I know you don't want to spend the first week lying in a hospital bed. Get out of here before an old man has to crack some skulls.
I'm George Takei, and I play Masumi Arakawa. Arakawa is a committed member of the Yakuza, but he retains his humanity. He recognizes something in this young street urchin, Ichiban, and he makes a painful and costly self-sacrifice in order to save this young man, and he develops a paternal love for him. The Yakuza life is very constrained and rigid and hard and fast. And that's what makes Arakawa unusual, in that he's able to not completely become that.
Ichi, would you be willing to take his place?
The relationship between Arakawa and Ichiban is a paternalistic one. He's brought this young man who's not his son and grooms him to be a good member of the Yakuza. I have a horrific and unjust and unforgettable childhood experience, the imprisonment by my own country because of Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I saw my parents go through incredible anguish, but also their determination to get back on their feet and give their children a life. I have that personal life history, and I wanted to bring a little bit of that into the humanity that I found in Arakawa.
All my life, I felt pretty alone, but I thought at least I was free. Now I'm starting to realize that I was kidding myself, because I wasn't actually alone.
My name's Elizabeth Maxwell, and I play Sayako Makoda. She's a firecracker. She is independent, she is feisty, she is a woman that likes to take care of herself. She's very headstrong and stubborn, but she cares really deeply about the people in her life that are important to her. She doesn't always know the best way to communicate that to those people, but she's really loyal and she's got a really big heart.
Come on, we all know he wasn't the greatest guy, and he was selfish too. But that's why I think there's no way he killed himself.
I know you're still going through a lot, but is this really the time to trash the guy?
Don't lecture me like that. You don't even know me.
When you tell a story that's set in a different culture, or different country than the one in which you live, there are always inherent challenges to that. Sometimes jokes land differently, so you kind of have to figure out, like, how do we strike a balance between maintaining the integrity of the joke from the Japanese language, but making it understandable and accessible to an English-speaking audience. I played a lot of video games growing up, and I was an RPG girl. I have these vivid emotional memories of the way that the characters and the story made me feel. And I honestly use that as an inspiration. Like, I want to make sure that I am making the player of my game feel those same feelings.
Not the drinking type. Well, then you'll be needing this to try your luck with another woman.
My name's William Lee, and I play Masato. I would describe Masato as a chameleon, so he lives kind of a dual life. Ice cold, cool, charismatic, but what we get to see in his quiet moments is this boiling anger. Every good drama needs conflict, and he is, to me, the epicenter of the conflict and the drama. Everything he does has huge consequences, which makes other characters react.
Whoa, what is that?
It stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, so even someone with my condition will be able to stand and walk just like anybody else.
The animation and the performances had already been created on a local level in Japan, so you have this different kind of weight on you. You have to live in what was already created. And with that comes the difficulty of making the character your own in a way, but also honoring what the Japanese have done with this game. At the end of the day, yes, it was blanketed in this world of criminals and things they did, but it came down to the code of the family and how you never break it and what happens if you do.
Morning, sunshine. You might not have dodged a bullet, but you dodged Wednesday.
My name is Greg Chun and I play Yu Nanba. Nanba is fun to me just because he's this ambiguous character who's just always really grouchy. And that's something that I don't get to play very often. You know, usually it's sort of hero voice or like villain voice. And this guy's just like, he's just in a bad mood all the time. He wasn't the type of person that was easily definable as far as moral compass goes. And yet he was somebody that you root for. His special attacks are just ridiculous.
You hungry?
One is that his breath is simply so horribly offensive that he essentially breathes on the enemy and that causes them considerable distress. There's an extra layer of challenge when you're trying to replicate something that's already been done and is already fantastic. His general demeanor and his mood and his cadence and way of delivering things, we really kind of analyzed a lot of different angles as far as how Nanba would come across.
Life is work. Hey, tell me this. What'd you want to be when you were a kid?
I like going in and trying to bring as much of the original spirit into it and adding a little bit of my own personality, which you can't help but do. The thing that I enjoyed the most was just working with the guys, honestly. We did the whole Judgment game together, and to be able to come back and be part of the canonical Yakuza universe is pretty amazing. And we had just as much fun, if not more, recording this one.
Back off! What? Who's there? It's me. It's me! Adachi, son?
My name is Andrew Morgado, and I play Koichi Adachi in Yakuza Like a Dragon. He's sour, he's embittered, he drinks too much, basically broke constantly. There was a lot of human, downtrodden, not quite getting what you think you deserve character traits for this guy.
If you won't come the easy way, I can make up a reason to do it the hard way. You want that? Oh, now the threats are starting, huh?
I really connect to someone whose life gets burned to the ground and is able to make a comeback. That gives you something to dig into a little deeper than just all right, you know, you're fighting this guy, you're fighting that guy. This was done really cohesively, and the team that was there that kind of guided me through it were really great at walking me through kind of where I was, why I was, who I was. We made it more accessible to the American gamer from the language point of view, because everything else is decidedly Japanese in the best way. Their sense of humor is second to none. We Americans, we just don't think that way. It is really great when you see how that was sort of pulled from one culture to another without homogenizing it or losing it. I think that we're finally at a point, both technologically and you know, culturally, where we can honor the source material almost to a T.